This 10x breakdown highlights the specific points of friction where modern critics have targeted the standard Islamic narrative. By leveraging archaeology, textual criticism, and philosophical debate, these critics have forced a massive shift in how Islamic theology is defended and gate-kept in the digital age. Here are the top 10 criticisms challenging the Islamic narrative. Number 10. The Geographic, Petra, shift. Using the research of Dan Gibson, J. Smith and others argue that the earliest mosques, Qiblas, pointed toward Petra, not Mecca. They suggest that Mecca was a later invention of the Abbasid Caliphate to move the center of power away from Jordan. Number 9. The holes in the Manuscript narrative. J. Smith and Tom Holland point to a lack of complete Quranic manuscripts from the 1st century of Islam. This challenges the claim of perfect preservation by highlighting the roughly 100-year gap between the death of Muhammad and the first extant datable manuscripts. Number 8. The standard Islamic narrative label. J. Smith popularized the term standard Islamic narrative to describe the traditional history, hadith and sirah, compiled 200 years after the fact. He argues this narrative is a backstory created to give the Arab Empire a religious identity. Number 7. The Mecca doesn't exist claim. Tom Holland and J. Smith argue that Mecca is not mentioned in any datable non-Islamic text until a century after Muhammad's death. They contend the Quranic description of the mother of cities, with olive trees and vineyards, does not fit the arid climate of Mecca but rather the Levant or Negev desert. Number 6. The Islamic Dilemma. David Wood and Sam Shaman frequently use the Islamic Dilemma argument that the Quran affirms the authority of the Torah and Gospel, Injil, as they existed in the 7th century. If those books were corrupted, they argue the Quran is affirming a false scripture. If they weren't, the Quran contradicts the Bible it claims to confirm. Number 5. The textual, Qira'at, variations. Critics highlight the 1924 Cairo edition of the Quran as a modern standardization. They point to the various Qira'at readings, with different words and meanings to debunk the idea that not a single letter has changed. Number 4. The Macho and moral critique. Sam Shaman and David Wood focus on the personal life of Muhammad, specifically the age of Aisha at marriage. They use authentic hadith to argue that traditional Islamic morality clashes with modern Western human rights. Number 3. The God Logic, philosophical stress test. God Logic and similar apologists use philosophical reasoning to target the nature of Allah, arguing that the Islamic concept of God is logically inconsistent with the Quran's descriptions of mercy and justice. Number 2. The lack of contemporary evidence. Tom Holland emphasizes that there is almost no contemporary historical evidence for the life of Muhammad or the birth of Islam for 70 years after his death. He argues that early Arab leaders like Muawiyah showed little sign of being Muslim, as we define it today. Number 1. The end of clerical gatekeeping. The digital age allows anyone to download searchable hadith and compare contradictory texts side by side. This internet reformation has broken the monopoly of imams, forcing scholars like Muhammad Hijab into defensive digital arenas to address questions that were previously suppressed. What do you think? Subscribe to 10x for more similar summaries. Stay dangerous.